It was one of those nights when the world felt heavier than usual, not because of the darkness, but because of the silence that came with it. I remember standing alone in an empty place, holding a small saw blade in my hand. It wasn't a full tool, just a small piece of metal, worn at the edges. But at that moment, it was all I had. In front of me stood an iron rod, thick, strong, secure. It was fastened tightly with a pipe, a nut, and a boot that held everything in place. You could tell it belonged to someone with power, someone with ownership, someone whose name didn't matter because what mattered was the gap between what they had and what I didn't. I looked around carefully, left, right, behind me. No footsteps, no voices, no eyes. But still, I felt watched, not by people, but by my own conscience, because I knew what I was about to do. I wasn't fixing anything. I wasn't repairing anything. I was about to steal, and not because I wanted to, but because something deeper was pushing me. Hunger. Not just the hunger of the stomach, but the hunger of a system that leaves some people with nothing but small blades and big risks. I knelt down and placed the saw blade against the pipe. The metal was cold, hard, unforgiving, just like life had been. I started to cut, scrape, scrape, scrape. Each movement felt louder than the last. The sound of metal against metal echoed into the silence like a confession. My heart began to race. What if someone came? What if I got caught? What if this small act destroyed what little dignity I had left? But then another thought entered my mind. What if I walked away? And the hunger came back tomorrow. I kept cutting. The blade was small. The iron was strong. But desperation has a strange kind of strength. Minutes passed. Or maybe it was seconds. Time didn't feel real anymore. All I could hear was the scraping sound and the beating of my own heart. Then suddenly, crack, the pipe loosened. The tension broke. The iron shifted. For a moment, I just stared at it. It was done. I picked up the rod. It was heavier than I expected, cold in my hands. But it didn't feel like victory. It felt like a question with no easy answer. Was I a thief? Or just a man trying to survive? Was the crime in my hands? Or in the system that put me there in the first place? I walked away slowly, disappearing into the shadows. And as I moved, I realized something. The iron was not the real weight I was carrying. The real weight was the hunger, the pressure, the choices no one wants to make. Because sometimes life doesn't give you good options. It just gives you decisions and the consequences that follow. And that night, holding that small saw blade, I understood something important. When hunger becomes the law, even honest people begin to look like criminals. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever been pushed into a difficult decision because of circumstances beyond your control? Do you believe people become criminals by choice or by pressure? If you were in that situation, what would you have done? And where do we draw the line between survival and wrongdoing? If this story spoke to you, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment.